Hey guys, thanks so much for popping on. My name is Farah Weberg, and I'm excited to talk to you all about power hours and why they're such a vital part of building your coaching business. Basically, I'm going to kind of walk us through a couple of the tools we provided you here in the training and to help you not only to understand them, but how to best utilize them within your business going forward. So give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen here. One moment. All right. I'm hoping you guys can see this, so this is a page from the official Misfit Republic planner that we provided to you earlier in this training. And the planner itself is just a wonderful resource for you as you're building your business going forward. The first half of it covers a lot on goal setting, how to kind of map out your why, which we'll talk about a little bit more later, and just working in how to work your daily business and kind of map out what your main objectives are. But the latter half of the planner focuses on the daily business building activities that you need to implement in order to hit those goals. And this is page 23 if you want as a point of reference. And from that point on, there are individual pages. Each page represents one day and specifically guided to your business activities. So you can see here on the left-hand side is an hour-by-hour breakdown of your day. So if you're like me, it's helpful to have kind of a visual idea of how you're going to start mapping out your business building activities that day, as well as trying to work in your personal commitments so that the two can work together hand in hand and give you the best chance of balance and success. So I use a pen and paper daily planner. That's what works best for me. Some people like to use an electronic calendar. Whatever is the best fit for you, make sure to find that and implement it. You want not to just necessarily follow what I am doing, but what works best for you in the long haul. So what I like to do is map out when I'm going to be tackling my power hour, which your power hour is the most essential activities that you tackle in your business every day. So if you literally only have 1 hour available to you each day to work on your coaching business, the power hour encompasses the most essential activities to make sure that you are successful. So make sure to just kind of pick this. If you can pick the same time every day, that's great. Some people, their schedules are so busy, you need to kind of break it up throughout the day in like 15-minute or 30-minute chunks. That's totally fine too. Whatever works for you as long as you're getting the work done. So next here, this is something, because this is a Monday, that they're listing the National Wake Up Call. So that's, again, something that happens only Monday mornings. It's the same time, always 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central. And this is the dial-in information, but you'll see that in your copy of the planner and also your business starter guide. But it's basically like your weekly business meeting that you don't want to miss. It is hosted by Beachbody Corporate, and it often features either leaders within the company or top coaches within the organization that are sharing helpful tips. Usually it's specific to a certain topic, like talking about sharing your story or growing your team or leadership, or just talking about new product releases or whatever it might be. But it's just a really great opportunity to get some learning in. And then they also talk about announcements that are happening within the company and rank advancements. So hopefully that will be your name being mentioned not too far down the line. But it's a really essential activity you want to make sure to get in every week. And in case you miss it, there is the replay available, and you can find that on your Coach Online office or the Team Beachbody National Wake Up Call podcast, which is something I like to tune into and I even go back and listen to past episodes. So anyway, moving down the list here for your daily activities is your social media posts. So the goal is to aim for 2 to 4 posts per day. Now, this doesn't have to be specifically Facebook. Some people love Facebook, and that's where they primarily grow their business. Instagram is another really popular one. Snapchat, of course, and there's a multitude of other platforms out there, but those tend to be kind of like the top 3 right now that I keep hearing about. I kind of do a mix. I started growing my business on Facebook, but I also have really started to heavily dive into Instagram. I love it because I can kind of segment more by interest group versus Facebook is, more by, people that were in my life. And, I've built friendships with Instagram is kind of the place where I find new people, if that makes sense. But it's completely up to you. You just want to make sure to plan to post on any platform 2 to 4 times per day. And one thing that I found to be really helpful is to kind of map out your month and decide, kind of like different topics you want to focus on throughout the month so you can plan better and you're not doing panic posting all the time, day to day. What I like to do is think about, okay, so if I have a challenge group, I typically run those the second half of the month is when they kick off. So the first half of the month, I tend to sprinkle in more information about, my health and fitness, or the products I'm loving, or how much I love the accountability I get from my groups and different things like that. And then of course I do posts that talk about the group specifically and invite to them. On the second half of the month, I'm focused a little bit more on building my team. And so during that time, I'm talking more about the freedom of coaching and the amazing lifestyle it has provided for me. And so those tend to be a little bit more of what I'm posting about. But certainly all of my posts are not focused on coaching, health and fitness. I talk a lot about my life because I want the people who follow me on social media to know me. So I talk obviously about my journey in health and fitness and in being a business owner. I talk about my kids. I talk about awesome recipes I make. I talk about my favorite wine. I talk about trips that we're taking. I talk about really nonsensical things. I talk about funny, nerdy things. It really is based on you and your personality and what you want your areas of focus to be. But make sure that you're letting your followers know the real you. This is not meant to be a billboard all about Beachbody. This is meant to be about you and your journey and how you can provide value to them. And that should always be a focus, is providing value to your followers through your posts. So next, moving down the list, is the power of 3. So this is essentially your power hour to-do list. That includes adding 3 new people on Facebook, or again, like whatever the social media platform of your choice is. It includes, and I should back up a little bit here, adding new people. This can be, maybe they're friends of your current followers that you think that you might have a good connection with, or you have things in common. It could be in different interest groups through Facebook. Like say you're a mom to a daughter like I am. You would maybe find a group that is all about like moms of daughters or moms of tweens or whatever it might be. And you can connect with people there genuinely because you have things in common. Sorry about that. That's my daughter making a little noise in the background. But you can find, maybe you are a dog mom, or maybe you really love the show Alias. I don't even know why I said that. That's an old show, but whatever it might be, just different ways that you use your interests to connect to people who have those things in common with you. It's a really great way to add people through your social media platforms. So anyway, you're aiming to add 3 new people a day. And then next, you would want to message 3 people privately to form. So what form stands for is family, occupation, recreation, and message. So this is basically when you're starting to message people, you're wanting to get to know who they are and build a relationship with them, especially if it's someone that's brand new to your network. So you start off by, talking about their family and, ask, maybe commenting on some pictures, say, hey, your kids are really cute. Just wanted to send you a message, say, I love your page, or whatever it might be, is a good way to kind of kick it off. Occupation, you learn a little bit more about what they do for work, or maybe they're a stay-at-home mom and talk a little bit more about their journey there. Recreation is obviously interests. It could be definitely things you have in common, or maybe something you're wanting to learn more about. And then message is when you start to connect and provide value to them. And that could be, again, like inviting them to the coaching opportunity, if that's kind of where your conversation has led, or it could be inviting them to a challenge group. And honestly, I love for my coaches generally to start out as challengers regardless, because it gives them an insight into what it's like to be part of a challenge group, but also being on your journey is a huge part of being successful in your coaching business. So and then anyway, so you want to make sure that you have a tracking system, which we'll go over at another time, to be tracking, the people you're reaching out to and that you're adding, so that you're always keeping on top of those conversations, so you don't have missed opportunities there and relationships that fall through the cracks. And then next, you want to, as I said, invite 3 people to a challenge group. And that's the tail end, again, of that whole forming process. So following up, inviting them to a challenge group, and then following up with 3 people. Again, these are people you've already had started conversations with. You want to keep the conversations going. It doesn't have to be talking to them every single day unless that's where the conversation goes, but just making sure you're staying on top of it and that you're not losing track of them. And then next, talking to 3 people about the business. So this should be your focus daily. Again, building new relationships, adding people to your network, and inviting them to the opportunity or the challenge group that you're currently offering. So next, moving on from that, some other vital daily behaviors include your workout and drinking your Shakeology, and making sure you're talking about it in a non-salesy way, but just in that you're sharing your story and what's working for you, and just inviting people to follow along with you on your journey. Next, you want to make sure to allow time every day for personal development. And this is whatever book speaks to you in the area you're currently wanting to grow. Maybe that's in confidence or in leadership or in learning how to be more efficient with your time. Whatever the area is, that's the book you should be focusing on, and aiming to read at least 10 pages a day. I like to devote a little bit more time to that. And actually, what I have found is that Audible is a great resource so that I can be listening to my personal development while I am doing other things. Not while I'm doing other coach work necessarily, because sometimes that can lead to you not really retaining what you're listening to. But like when I'm driving, or if I'm just kind of doing some like mindless work, or if I'm cooking, I sometimes will just throw in my earbuds and listen to my book then, and I feel like I'm kind of making a little bit more progress. But there are many books that we can give you recommendations on, again, based on what area you most want to focus on. So just reach out. And then you want to allow time to check in on your current challenge groups that you're running, do a post, check in, comment on people's comments, give encouragement, etc. You want to check in if you have a team page. You want to check in there and see if anyone has posted with questions, or do a post or provide information and content to help your team with their success. You want to check in on your Coach Online office daily for any new alerts that pop up, or just keep an eye on your coaches and your activity, your volume. If you are coming up to Wednesday night and you want to make sure that your rank is secured, or that your coaches' ranks are secured, because that will change over every Thursday. Just make sure that popping into your online office is something you try to tackle most days. And then again, staying on top of your messages and emails that come through, so that you aren't letting any of your relationships that you worked so hard to build fall through the cracks. So that's kind of like the crux of what your power hour should encompass. I know it maybe seems like a little overwhelming at first, but really this does become a pretty routine part of your day. But if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. This is a really great resource, and it really breaks it down very simply. Another tool that we have included for you that I just clicked over to here is this weekly checklist. So again, it kind of breaks down those daily behaviors, many of which I've already covered here, just in a little bit different format. And then at the bottom, it talks about weekly behaviors, including the National Wake Up Call that I talked about, sharing your transformation a couple times a week, doing a call to action on Sunday nights. These are all things that we'll dive into a little bit more as you progress in your training. But this is another tool that is really helpful. So just, again, find the tool that works for you. I would maybe advise starting with this one, just because it's a little bit easier to grasp in the beginning, and then maybe moving up to this one. But that's completely up to you and what you find works best for you. So anyway, there we go. So I hope this makes sense, guys. Let us know if you have any questions and reach out. But I hope this can get you started on your journey and making a Power Hour a daily part of your coach activities to keep you moving forward towards your goals and success. Thanks, guys.